The Dusty Futon Podcast is a product of the Dusty Futon LLC and Dusty Futon Productions. Go to dustyfuton.com for more information.
It's that time again. Welcome to another episode of the Dusty Futon, the highly acclaimed musicians podcast. Acclaimed by me, myself, and I, Tyler, Spicy, Kim, Lindsay, Dirty Disciple. Also, every band that's ever been on, because all we want to do is give local, independent music their voice and their time to shine. Oh yeah, and we play their songs too. And this episode is brought to you by Backstage360.com, the musicians' media. The Dusty Futon is a musicians podcast bringing you the raw musician and what they bring to the table. Backstage360.com works hard to bring you even more with creative write-ups, professional interviews, and stunning photography. Backstage360.com also assists with the promotion of events, products, tours, new music, and they provide an overall insider's peek into the impedimenta of the backstage. Backstage360.com. They truly are the musicians' media. This episode, we talk to a group who calls themselves the League of Liars. Fronted by Michael Fairchild and the bass player Sppike Mike, these two are also in a Spice Girls cover band called Spice Pistols. But that's a whole nother thing. We've got Sppike Mike, Michael Fairchild, and Rumble T of the League of Liars right here on the Dusty Futon. Take a listen as we check out 3 of their new tracks on their debut album.
Welcome to the Dusty Futon. This is League of Liars, and I expect...
You know what? Nailed it right on the head. That's exactly what you're going to get.
All right, so you're sound checked.
Sound check.
League of Liars is
You can't do the same joke twice, dude.
No.
Kim, you don't have a multi-tool in your purse?
All right, everybody else shut up.
All women don't have a multi-tool in their purse?
Everybody else shut up. Scott?
Okay. I got a freaking. Can you hear me now?
Players?
No, because everyone keeps talking.
Right.
Yeah,
of course. And I'm the important one.
I know, right? All right.
I'm kind of a big deal.
I think you're good. I think we're good on everybody.
Listen, in my bathroom late at night, I am the only deal.
Or it's like I may not be much, but I'm all I ever think about.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
So yeah, we have a good time.
Yeah.
So we're going to get
Michael's a wise
started.
guy.
We're going to get started, I think, right out of the bat. Kim's being very hospitable and getting all of our guests refreshments and beers and things. So let's get right into this. We're on the Dusty Futon. Welcome, everybody. And we have League of Liars with us today. Or do we?
Oh yeah.
If you guys are liars, are you really who you say you are? Or are you just
Likely
telling me
not
that to throw me off?
That's actually the question
Plead the
that we'll
fifth.
leave up to whoever wants to listen. You figure it out.
I'm still trying to figure it out, and I just watched you guys play a show. Thoroughly entertaining, by the way. It was really good. Went to Bar Pink and saw you guys perform, and I was thoroughly surprised. I was sitting there doing research on all these bands that we were going to talk to in our recording sessions, and literally it was just like the notification came up and said, "Hey, guess what, Tyler? We're playing right next door to your house." I can basically hear the show, so let's go check it out. And I did, and I was not disappointed. I watched all of you guys do your own thing. And I almost didn't recognize Michael when he came through the door, because he was a different person last night. I think he was channeling somebody else.
Yeah.
He puts on this, he has kind of like this Mick Jagger-esque like energy and swagger about him that you wonder how that anybody can physically move that way, and yet they do. And they made it look good.
He does a chicken dance better than I do, though.
He does.
So I can't strut like him.
That band
But
is
you
all
can
right.
try.
I try frequently, yeah.
Well, you do a good job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of fun.
Exactly. You guys look like you had a lot of fun up there.
Oh yeah,
That's mainly it.
That's the whole point.
First and foremost, let me just say thank you for coming out here and joining us on the Futon. Let's get some introductions,
thank you.
and let's start with the first guy chewing
That
gum.
gum.
The gum's gotta go.
I thought it was far enough away I'd go undetected.
These are good microphones.
Wow.
Cracked snapper.
I'm just like, what is that? Is my connection not on the way?
Right. Always blame the cord. First move.
It sounds like a really delicious gum. What is that,
Oh,
Big
it was
Red?
most impressive,
Hubba
really.
bubba.
It sounds like cinnamon. Was I right? Okay. First and foremost, let's start with fearless leader. Let's introduce
Sppike Mike.
Sppike Mike. How's it going?
What is up?
Thank you for joining us today. Now, you started this, I'm guessing?
Well, this band actually came about as a result of a band called Not Anymore.
And are they still anymore?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, yeah. Yeah, the band reached its end of life, and Dave Hamilton, who's our lead guitar sound draper.
Where is Dave?
Dave is unable to be here today. He's been
Under the
ill.
weather.
He was actually
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here. Dave was actually ill last night while he was playing. He was quite ill, but he showed up like a trooper and did the deal.
I just thought he was really into his guitar playing.
Yeah.
He was just so focused. He didn't miss a note despite his ailments.
Right.
Yeah, he did good and sounded great.
Right.
It's called being a professional.
Yeah, that is right there. See, the bass player knows.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we miss you, Dave.
Yeah. Now, Dave and I were in the band Not Anymore, which is, of course, not anymore now. And the band
funny.
came apart, and him and I got together and decided that we wanted to continue to play. He and I have actually been playing together for over 15 years now.
Wow.
And I started searching the local Craigslist page, and that's where I found Mr. Fairchild, our amazing frontman, curator, and purveyor of the mobile phone.
Yeah, what was with that? I saw
That
some
thing is
pictures
great.
of him last night.
I'm
and
sitting here
he's like,
going, is it a cordless
through a
phone?
phone.
Because technically it does have a cord on it. You know,
It's a cord
but
for a little while, and then the
Yeah.
cord stops.
it's a wireless corded phone. It's an interesting concept. You'll probably have to look at the pictures to really see what I'm talking about. But it's literally a phone that he built into a microphone. And he built this himself.
I did. Out of an old Bell telephone.
Yeah. So the microphone's built in, and it kind of has like this little overdrive or distortion on it.
It sounds like a phone.
Yes, it almost sounds like you're listening to an answering
like a
machine.
telephone, like when you're dialing.
Yeah, it sounds like because it is.
There were a couple of moments where you went walking around on a tirade, and it sounded like somebody was listening to someone rant on an answering machine.
Yeah. I get that a lot. It's fun. It's that's the beauty of that is just the ability to kind of just like wander around inside of an audience and literally just rant away like you would. You could do it with like a normal microphone. And people don't respond at all, but you do it into a prop telephone, and suddenly people are really into it.
Well, you know what?
I have to say.
I think for the older crowd, like that, for me, like I have flashbacks of my boss calling me, going, "Where the hell are you, man?" Like that's
You got to pick up
Just
that
the
damn
phone
phone.
itself.
Yeah.
Looking at it takes you back to the 90s and PTSD. And,
Right.
Or we got people asking for the phone number and stuff.
right. Yeah.
Like, hey,
867.
Is that a rotary dial?
Yeah.
What is that?
But it's an attention grabber.
It is.
I saw pictures just on your Facebook, kind of stalking you guys as I did last night.
Big stalker.
And I just thought maybe it was something you picked up in a show, but no, it's something you bring along with you. It's part of the show.
That is part of the show.
It was
Yeah.
really enjoyable to watch. Did you have any tracks that you recorded with that effect?
I have in the past. I don't know if we have any like laid down ready to release.
I figured maybe we could paint a picture for the,
What you got, Mike?
listening audience if we
Yeah.
did. But either way, we got lots of other tracks to choose from. in the meantime.
Right. The tracks that I sent do not include that effect.
Oh, okay. No worries. But, let's get back to introductions. Let's put a name to the voice that we were just listening to. This is Michael. He's the singer and also sometimes guitar player in the band.
Frequently guitar playing.
Yeah,
Except for when I double on the phone, which is technically an instrument, I guess. So yeah, I sing, I play, I rant,
Yes.
I rave.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then also over here on the drums, we have
Tim Dowd.
Tim Dowd.
Or my moniker now is just Rumble T, right? So it's
That's
on.
right.
It's everywhere. My license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rumble
Tim
T.
Rumble T
That's it.
Dowd.
Rumble T.
I feel like we need to talk about that a little bit because I'm all sorts of questions right now. Where does Rumble T come from?
Well, it's kind of a combination of. It was a license plate on the back of an old Corvette, and it kind of synchronized with the fact that almost everywhere I lived there was a loud, percussive type of sound, and light bulbs shattering. And
Where do you
it's,
live?
detached.
I need to go
That's the
there.
question.
Like a horror
I live in the
film?
garage.
Jesus.
Yeah.
A few basements here and there. They let me out after a while. That's how I
walls
got
are
so
only-
good at the drums. There was a drum kit down there.
It was a classic story of banging on pots and pans, and intolerant parents that could put up with it. But
They were
yeah, the
medicated.
rumble teeth thing's been going on for decades, honestly. So I just kind of moved into comfortably fit into that name, and so
It's catchy.
and these guys started just introducing me as such, and then kind of went from there.
We have a Sppike and a rumble.
That's
Yeah. Where's your cool name, Mike?
It's the Maestro.
There we go. I like that.
I like
Go with
it too.
Maestro Fairchild. That sounds, I don't know. That sounds a little too proper, though, maybe.
I'm a pretty proper guy.
Yeah, right?
Right. It kind of works. It's like the rebel and the,
And
not
the what?
The
I don't know. That guy and that guy.
The je ne sais quoi.
It's the proper and the rocker.
Oh,
Hey, there
You're
it
hired.
is.
No. So that being said, I think we should play some music. I think we've
Yeah.
waited long enough. Let's give the
Absolutely.
people what they want.
What do you guys wanna hear?
want? These are the people.
Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So
I think we want to
haven't
zig
even
zig.
gone there yet.
Do you guys have that
I
song? Did you
really,
bring that
really,
one?
really want to zig a zig ah.
Okay, then give him what he wants. What he really, really. Okay, that's enough. We're done.
California,
I like that.
goddamn.
That was one of the lyrics that I was able to make out last night at the show. It's really hard to hear lyrics in the venue.
It is, for sure.
Plus, I never listen to lyrics anyway. I always.
Shut up.
I try to enunciate
I
the best
do.
I can.
No, I don't. I
But live, it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
Have you ever fallen victim to you try and sing lyrics to songs that you don't really know, so you just kind of make up some
Yeah.
words?
Every damn day.
And one person hears
Every
you and go,
time
"Wait
I
a minute, what did you just say?" They're like, "Come in, hold on, what did you just say?"
Well, it's like,
The wrong
what's that old golden earring song, right? Wrapped up like a douche, right?
Yeah,
You know, come on.
Isn't it Jimmy Fallon that does the wrong lyrics? He does the hashtag.
Oh, really?
Oh, guys.
I have to
the
see that if he
funniest
does.
thing
I don't watch Jimmy Fallon because he's
ever.
not funny.
Wow.
Well, that
Boy, there
First
goes our
off-
sponsor there, right?
hey,
So much for that sponsorship
This
deal.
one's called California. Goddamn.
Misheard lyrics is what it's called. Misheard lyrics.
Tyler Johnson apologizes to all the Jimmy Fallon enthusiasts out there.
The knives and the smiles at the meet and greet. We're brand new wolves, got same old teeth. Same old teeth. A little water does a whole lot of drowning. Said the priest in the temple of accounting. By all accounts, goddamn California, you can have it all. Consider that a warning.
Do you ever get compared to River from Weezer?
no, that's a new one. I usually get the guy from Cake.
I was gonna say that,
And
I was
like,
holding it back.
You know what? I don't know that guy's name, but if I could have a baby, it would be his.
Does anybody know his name? I figure somebody does. His mom
John.
might know.
John.
It's John.
Okay.
I just know the,
Sppike.
the bucket seat song.
John.
That's so funny because that was my first impression too. Just hearing, some tracks for the first time. When people ask me, "Well, what genre is it?" and that hard to define kind of thing. But yeah, that was something right away I said, yeah, Michael, sounds just like that with his own. And I've heard comparisons too, like Oingo Boingo and Talking Heads and whatever. I mean, but. And that may be more mannerism and whatever that gets put into it too.
Well, yeah, and what I noticed last night watching you guys is that you're all over the place. It's not like necessarily one genre or two. You guys touch, every piece of the board. There was,
We touch a lot of things.
yeah,
That's
there was some
all right.
punk, there was some rockabilly, there was, things like this, kind of like a '90s throwback kind of feel.
But it wants to be touched.
It is when some of the music I heard, I was like, it's kind of Gin Blossomsy. I had
thank
it.
you.
Really good.
Yeah.
It's got a '90s vibe to it, and I really like it.
Thank you.
Well, the little fish said in a big fish noise.
Fish noise.
Yep. Well, little fish said big fish noise.
I love that line. I refuse to choose between words and a voice.
Thank you
It's a great line.
very much. Sometimes I try to be a little clever, I suppose.
Try to be catchy.
You know, it's a thing.
Everybody knows that goddamn California. Have it all, consider that a war. The night is young, the drink in your hand, and everybody knows that it's California. Goddamn.
Right now we got League of Liars in, and we just heard California Goddamn. What album was that off of?
That is off our debut album.
Yeah, we call it the demo album.
And that's a lie.
Thank you, Spike Mike.
That's from the demo.
The demo.
Nice.
Would I lie to you?
Actually, there was a name to it. It's the $5 demo for $10. That was the
That's
name.
like
Awesome.
poetry.
That's great.
Wow, that's like Shakespearean. You guys are thespians.
That sounds like
Definitely
you guys
Ben's.
are doing the right thing. You're making some money.
You know what I did like about that song a lot, and Lindsay actually touched it first, was that the bass. It was very beefy on the bass, very bass heavy, and I like that a lot. I really love the low end, and I'm also a little biased because I started out as a bass player. But definitely, I love the beefiness that you brought, and also I really like the bass that you have too.
Reverend, yeah.
Yes.
Ken and I are good friends, and actually one of my strongest bass influences, probably the guy I've studied more than anybody else, is Mike Watt from the Missing Men, and
As you're wearing this
As he
shirt.
pulls the T-shirt down.
and the Minutemen, and the guy's a real approachable celebrity, and he's very open and easy to talk to, and like I've probably seen him no less than 60 times in the last 10 years.
That's incredible.
And I study, and that's what I learned to do kind of early in my career was I go and I watch what everybody does. I don't care what skill level it is, because you can pick up things and little tricks and mute techniques and dynamics that people don't even know they're doing it. And like whoever you study, you learn to apply that stuff, and it really adds to the dynamics that you bring to the instrument.
It's really cool that you actually got to, interact physically with one of your your biggest influence. Most people say, "Oh, I grew up on Zeppelin and Sabbath and things like that," but they never hung out with, Tony Iommi or Geezer Butler or anything like that. You actually got to interact with somebody who affected you musically, and that's cool.
And to be fair, like Geezer's also been one of my strongest influences. But the thing is he's not as accessible.
Right.
And
Yeah, exactly.
Having access to someone that you appreciate so much and being able to pick their brain and understand their mental state when they're doing what they're doing adds to your ability to have that influence come out in your music.
Yes. I've always been a believer, too, that if you want to really get good at something, you should hang around people who are better than you.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll play with anyone. I don't care who it is, whether they're better than me or less than me, whatever. Like, there is none of that. Music is the great equalizer.
I like that.
And, being able to have an open mind and approach it in that manner really has helped my growth a lot. Michael and I, when we started this band, we met. And one of the things that I want to point out about my friend Michael is that he's always been very, very open to us bringing whatever influences we have into the songs that he brings to the band. You
guys are very open. I saw that.
And like, did I bend over that much? Oh, sorry. No.
It always goes there
happens.
on this
Always.
podcast.
I'll show you the pictures later.
It's rock and roll.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Right. No, but like I like to call our music organic because nobody tells anybody what to do. An idea is brought and we begin to play and the music finds itself. And by doing that, it eliminates a lot of the contention that comes in bands so often when you're trying to achieve some specific sound. And like that's really helped us grow as friends too. And we play to serve the music and to present a show.
You're not fighting each other. You're trying to work together.
Yeah, it's a more of a constructive process rather than like an ego-driven kind of like thing. Oh, it needs to be this way.
Right.
If you're open to like, the ideas and if you're open to any direction being possible, then like, instead of being forced to, narrow down, everything kind of becomes open. And you're like, oh, well,
Yeah, if you put labels on things and you try and stick to that format, eventually you're going to end up reaching a ceiling. There's going to be nowhere else to go. But if you keep an open mind about it, I agree with you 100% on that.
That's where the beauty comes from. Like that's where you get great songs.
Yeah, and like as far as our dynamics and our like we play, like you said, from all kinds of different directions in music, different genres. We bring all that in because, like I think early on, we realized that realistically, as musicians and as bands, we're in a battle with attention deficit disorder. and, like,
Are we all?
We know about that.
It's 1984 plus now. I mean, like everybody's got even bigger screens in their hands.
Hence the whole
and-
Perfect Circle record that just came out.
Yeah, you know, and like that's the thing is you have to present something that people don't expect. And this band is very much musician oriented than a lot of, like, you know, our other band that Michael and I are in is called Spice Pistols, and that's a
you're in that
visual
one too,
dynamic.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm Baby
You know,
Spice.
Oh, you are really?
And yeah, he's maybe Baby
I
Spice.
didn't recognize you
Oh my God,
from the
no way.
photos.
I'll sign autographs later.
I'm Harry Scary
So
Spice.
that's what it was. We triggered you
high-fived at-
earlier today and brought out the inner Spice Girl inside of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
my
you know, to
goodness.
be fair too, you know, Michael's the real writer in this band. Michael's almost all the music we do, with the exception of a couple pieces that I penned, are Michael's creations, and he's been so free in bringing it forward and allowing us to express what we feel from what he brings, and that's really the glue that holds the League of Liars sound together.
And
Chemistry.
You've been around a while too, right?
Looks like, from what I get, the internet's apparently giving me all sorts of
Internet
wrong
would
Yeah.
never lie to you.
Except this,
Neither would you
that
guys.
time.
Ever.
That one time.
Right.
You take that to the bank.
Yeah, but I'm okay. I'm going to shoot a number out here. 2010. Am I right? Am I close?
That's all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I know it was a long time ago. It's like we didn't mark it on any calendar or
Belly Up
anything
Tavern,
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah, that
ever
was the
sits there and
Battle of
goes,
the
"Bring me
Bands."
my calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Today is the day that we created our band, and henceforth
So you
we
guys-
shall
It's a red
always
letter
remember."
date.
Your
Which is a
first
great
gig
story in
together
Oh, well, let's
was
hear it.
at Belly Up.
Well, very close to it. I know when I came on board, we had a gig down at Till Two Club or something. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
No, it was
Yes.
Belly Up.
Was the belly?
Well, no, Belly Up was the first
one
gig,
yeah.
Till Two, and I met these guys. And said, "Oh, by the way, we're doing a Battle of the Bands gig at the Belly Up Tavern." Oh, okay.
And our
put that
drummer
on
just
my-
broke his back,
Yeah.
so can you sit in?
Shut
So
up.
I literally
Yeah, so he just-
and you know what I really enjoyed so much though, and it's you know maintained all this time is that realm of spontaneity. You know, like you know that's the creative nucleus of so much. I know. And I call myself a lot of things, the rhythmic, I'm in the triplet universe, and I just talk all this crazy drum stuff. But this guy gets it, though, all the
the
time.
rhythm
You know what I
section,
mean?
yeah.
And, you
Yeah,
know,
the rhythm
and
section.
It's that, you
Yeah.
don't have to,
Drives it.
Yeah.
like you look and go, that was crazy and weird, dude. I love it. Keep doing it, you know. And it's that kind of, you know, that's what's fun about it. And that's how it gelled. And we won the People's Choice Awards at that Belly Up
That
Tavern.
was something that I also hoped wasn't a lie that they told me. 2011.
It's
you
good
guys
to remain
won-
skeptical.
San Diego County Fair, yeah, Music Palooza. We won a $1,800 Taylor guitar as a result of that.
Cut it
You
up
guys
in
still
4
have
Which
it,
one
pieces.
of you guys got to
Yeah.
take it home? Yeah. Or is it like, it's all of our
Well,
guitar, but I'll keep it
He
at my
got the
house.
neck. He got
Yeah,
the.
Yeah, Michael got the White Beauty.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah,
I
as you
still-
should. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you nailed it when you were like, we serve the song.
right.
And
Right.
that's what, yeah.
Yeah, the one of the things that's been complimented about this band a lot is the rhythm section. The chemistry between Tim and I is undeniable. I've played with a number of drummers in my life, of course, and what happens between him and I is so it's unconscious almost. And it's just like he
unconscionable.
lays down stuff, and Michael turned me on to space. Believe it or not, and we're not talking an LSD style, but I was waiting for it.
I know that too. Yeah.
Universal.
That was the old
spirit
Sppike
kind
Mike.
of shit.
that was the spiked mic, you know, right? But
See what you did there.
no, I mean like that's something that he brought to the band was like, let's use space. And I know Tim already was doing all that, and so once I gained that concept on a real deep level, our chemistry between Tim and I became so solid that it allows us to really back away when we're supposed to and utilize it, and it creates a very dynamic sound.
You
in
guys
the
were
songs.
very right hand, left hand when I saw you guys on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is beautiful because it allows the vocals and the guitar to just get in there and get in the pocket, and everybody just is on point. For sure.
Well, plus it allows like everybody well, for me personally as an artist like fronting the band, if I can say like put down the guitar and not play it, or if people can like leave pockets of space, if we can like change the kind of the fabric and the dynamics of what we're playing, it opens it up for like new creative things to kind of like jump in when we can. Like exactly, like things to kind of pop through. If I have like a lyrical like onslaught I need to throw out, or maybe Dave has a little like kind of like thing he wants to throw in. I mean, by leaving space, it like not only like opens up and allows the audience to experience more of it, but it allows us to, jump in with more freedom stuff. This is
kind of like a branch that grows, and each branch can then grow more branches. And
exactly.
Like that.
And it's about pruning down, because if there's branches everywhere, there's no space to kind of like grow. But if you purposely keep everything kind of like tight and tidy.
Space is the most important thing in music.
Exactly.
I believe.
Yes.
What do you mean dynamics? I'm playing as loud as I can.
Yes.
Right.
And I think on that note, space and time and keeping control, I think we should probably get a song going here in just a minute. So what do we want to do next? What else do we have available at our arsenal?
I vote for unenjoyment.
Depends on what version.
Unenjoyment.
There's some variations on them, so I'm not sure.
Well, I picked the last one.
Unemployment is unenjoyment.
That was the play on words. I was just being clever.
Did a twist on it. Yeah.
Unenjoyment is a story about the unemployment line.
Do you get a wheel of cheese with that?
I have a feeling we're not getting the whole truth out of Mike today.
Hey,
Spike,
do unenjoyment.
You fucking legalize
hey,
it.
if I don't leave some mystery on the
All a
table, like, come on, you don't get to know everything
Exactly.
about
And
me.
if you didn't live up to your name, then
And occasionally,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like
Fake
Harry
news.
Scary Spice, so you don't know where you're getting with this guy.
All right, so we're doing Perfect Crime? No.
Unenjoyment.
We're doing Unenjoyment. And
Yes.
By
this is a
League of
track
Liars.
off of the album.
The $5 demo for $10.
This is off the
Yeah.
same album.
The
$5
same.
demo for $10.
It is.
Awesome. Here it is. League of Liars.
That's the best one.
I'm a recent DJ, recently relieved in my repose. A lot of DNA strung up upon some skin and bones. And if I had a nickel for every dime I lost, I could not count all the ways that you calculate the price instead of cost. And the wife could sing the dirges in the early morning light. The candle of my conscience cannot throw a decent light.
Michael, are you the lyricist? Do you write the lyrics for all the songs?
Yeah.
What's the beauty behind this song right here? Is there any inspiration behind it? Writing stories.
This song is a holdover from the Not Anymore, an extant Not Anymore song. So when I joined up, they said, "Hey, here's this song," and we've got this riff and verse and kind of chorus and structure, and I think the former singer had some lyrics like kind of written out that I didn't think were my style.
Relieved in my repose. I'm a water DNA strung up upon my skin and bones.
So now,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, how-
Okay.
were you in other bands before this? I mean, where does this Michael come from, or did they just kind of like find some Frankenstein baby within you?
Well, I'd go Frankenstein Baby.
Nice.
It's kind of like I've been playing since I was like 19 in Washington and Portland and
Just teach
Alaska,
yourself.
and yeah, I kind of like Juneau was
Wow.
was
So
a
how
fun
did you
place.
end up in Juneau?
I just it's kind of a long story. Like I was living in Washington, and the person I lived with owned a house in Washington and owned a house in Juneau. He was a farrier. He shoot horses.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, shoot, get away!
Exactly. It was
Horses
very
are rampant
professional.
out there. They're a nuisance.
Exactly.
That was that kind of reggae influence that we kind of touched on a little earlier. You get a little bit of everything.
Are you trying to tell me to shut up?
No. I'm just saying that you noticed exactly what I noticed when I came in. That they're all over the place. You can't get a feel on them. As soon as you think you got the nail down, they switch it up on you, and you're like, I don't know you anymore.
Yeah,
but it's really hard to be a musician in Southern
you.
California in this modern times without having Sublime being an influence on
I'm sure.
either positively or negatively. It's like they're a definite force in the music scene for
absolutely.
So where did you, get your inspiration, your style from? And this is your first musical endeavor, semi-professionally, or?
No. I've been doing it for a while. I don't know, it's like Bob Dylan via Method Man, I guess.
Wow.
That is an interesting
love
flavor of
that.
Ben and Jerry's.
It's one of those odd ones with the core in the middle that's it gets to. Yeah. No, but I just like words and imagery, and I was like kind of the folk singer for a while until I discovered rap and hip hop.
Yeah, a little bit of that came
Didn't see
through
that coming
too, and that's
from
why I'm
LA.
going like, where did this guy come from? Like he grew up in the ghetto or something in Detroit. Like this guy's for real, man.
7 Mile, like
Yeah.
one. I got one more than Eminem.
It's fucking 8 Mile.
Didn't quite make it that last mile. Yeah,
Right.
It was the last good mile.
After that, it's just all posers.
That's hilarious. Okay, so now
my
Tim,
gosh.
what about you? Where did you come from? So it sounds like you were a late edition. Is that correct?
Indeed. Yeah, and again, it's a long story in many respects, but my influences were very varied. From I say this often too, that I loved almost anything like prog rock type of stuff, and so people would often say things like, "Oh, really? Well, who are your influences?" And I'd throw all these impressive names of the giants of that genre, right, and the complexity of their percussion and their prowess on the drum set, and then and I'd say, "Man, that's so cool. That's so off." And I'd say, "Well, I'm not saying I can play that good. I'm just saying that that's what my influences are." So it's a something to reach for, even at this point. Because I've been drumming since I was a kid, and the high school band and the whole 9 yards, and East Coast venues and Greenwich Village, and the whole melting pot of.
Are you from the East Coast?
Originally, yeah.
Where are you from originally?
New Jersey.
Jersey.
Jersey boy,
I
baby.
can't say it without saying
Yeah.
Jersey, and I think
Same.
Jersey people from Jersey hate that a lot because it's like a very small portion of Jersey.
It sure is. Yeah. It's
I just
But,
thought I didn't say it with an English accent like I normally say.
but close to the city, and that's where everything's happened. So, but yeah. So again, it's the mix and the way this kind of fell together for me, at least, was I just loved that the spontaneity we had, and again, I think that's the true nucleus of like creativity, you know, to like get that on tape, don't let this moment pass because we might not, you know what I mean? We can overthink stuff.
It's chemistry and you get it.
It absolutely
right then,
is.
right
It
then.
absolutely is. And,
Yeah,
You
overthinking.
capture it.
some crazy off the wall riff out of nowhere, and it'll sound like King Crimson or something, and then we'll turn it into a funk thing. You know what I mean? And it's so, right. I mean, then think of that. That's so cool. So yeah, that's where my perspective is. And I'm digging it. So
I'm digging it too.
I love what you guys brought to the table. How you guys all collaborated, and it's just like a big mixed bowl of it's like trail mix.
It is.
You're gonna get a little bit something different in every handful, and none of them is gonna be the same, no matter how.
And
you
it all
try.
works.
Yeah.
It's
And now I'm
full of
getting really
nuts.
hungry because I'm talking about.
Well, think about it more of as tracer mix instead of a trail mix, right? Because it's really, I think that as much as we might want to avoid the topic, the 60s and 70s definitely influenced all of us here, right?
wait, I sidestepped that one pretty
We have
good, Mike.
chemistry.
Wait.
Yeah, just disclaimer, Sppike, Mike, and I just had an acid conversation
Yeah, exactly.
before we even started this.
You should have hit
Get me
record. Always
started.
hit record.
I know.
That
We
could have been some
record
good
everything.
behind the scenes Futon stuff.
It was good.
It was, indeed.
But we can continue.
Yes. So now, those of you listening in, if you're out and about, you guys have probably seen these guys play. They're everywhere.
Once a month or so, every other month, we do a 3-hour show at Rosie O'Grady's.
That's awesome.
We also are at the Riviera Club, and we've got some stuff coming up at Dior Mine Company.
So where can our listeners get your schedule so they can?
That would be on Facebook.
on the calendar.
Facebook is our best place to find it, or Band is in Town. I try to keep that stuff updated, and so you can find where we're going to be at, and come up and kiss us all because we like kisses.
We love to come up and kiss you right in between your sets. In the not even in between your sets.
Whoa! Can we say that?
Well, if I walk up,
Okay.
I didn't say balls. I said,
Hey!
oh wait, yes I did.
You must.
Jesus.
Okay, silence.
I lost myself.
Anyways,
Where was that?
Someone's
I
doing a
don't
lot of
know.
going
Okay,
right
so
now.
bands in town, Facebook.
Yes.
League of
At
Liars.
League of Liars,
Yeah.
I believe, is your handle on Facebook.
Right, we're also on Reverb Nation. You can find our music
cool.
there.
Yeah. In fact, your music's
what
all there,
genre are
right?
you guys under in
Well,
Reverb?
that's the thing is like
And
we kind of deliberately set out not to fit into a genre.
I don't think
I don't
nowadays
think it was
there is a
deliberate.
thing
I
of
think it's
genre.
natural.
anymore.
Yeah,
it's
there's-
like,
I mean,
it's- go
who
fucking
wants-
listen to it.
Yeah, who wants to be
Decide.
pigeonholed?
Right.
You want to know what we're about? Come listen, figure it out. Come to a show. You tell us what our genre is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
It was a toughie. It was a toughie.
yeah.
Oh, he can hear it.
He can hear everything. He's got.
It's
His
too late.
dad's in a rock and roll band. I'm sure he's heard it all.
Right.
He's like he's nodding. Yep.
Got it.
I've heard a lot of stuff I can't say.
Okay, and
money from mom because of it.
his dad just took the headphones back.
Oh, he gave him
still
up
hear
willingly.
Right.
But yeah,
We should have like, here, kid, put these headphones on. Noise canceling. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Let it go.
Let it
go.
Are you guys kidding me with that shit?
no, that just happened. That just happened.
We'll have Adina Menzel on the next episode of the Dusty Futon.
Oh man,
I don't know.
who was that fucked that up? It was
Still nothing.
It was Pulp Fiction guy.
John Travolta?
It was John Travolta that fucked up that name.
Yeah.
And he was like a totally wrong name.
Oh, that's so bad.
Wait, was
And
that
that was
Vinnie Barbarino?
No, it was like right. But that's
Welcome
her first like
Horseshack.
Grammy
It was
appearance where
Horseshack.
she's singing. I would have cried backstage. If I were
Right.
I'm still like, welcome back. Isn't it
But at
Welcome
least
Back,
everyone
Carter?
remembered her
Welcome Back,
name.
Carter.
Arnold
after that.
Horseshack. Yeah.
Oh my god. I want to talk about Sppike Mike a little bit more.
I do too.
I
I wanted to come back to your bass that you had. I wanted to paint a cool picture of this thing because
Yes.
I named it Slimer.
Well, that actually, that's not quite it. No,
dang it.
it's actually, that's where I was going with the Mike Watt thing. It's a Mike Watt signature model, Watt Plower from Reverend. Reverend endorses us. We endorse Reverend. Whatever way that
One of
works.
the-
There's some
Vice
endorsement going
versa
on.
thing.
It's heavy. It's good.
It's a relationship we have with Reverend. And actually it bleeds over from Spice Pistols. And, they make instruments that are absolutely incredible. And Mike, being my number one teacher right now, him and I are physically similarly. I have
Wow,
said
that was a mouthful.
similarly sized, and so
Loquacious
one of the
as
things-
always, Mr. Mike.
One of the
the
things
wordsmith
about
over here.
my relationship with Mike Watt is that, like, I've asked him, as an aging human, dealing with arthritis and such, like, how do you get past some of those things where you have pain, in your hands and stuff like that? Because, I come from football and building cars and skateboarding, and so my limbs are a bit beat up. But
Your shoulders? Do your shoulders bother you?
I asked him, like, what do you do? And he says, sometimes you change up the instruments that you play, and sometimes you play in different positions. And he plays specifically short scale basses because they're easier to apply. It's easier to operate the instrument. So it's less strenuous on your body. And
So it's like a guitar-sized neck with just the bass tone?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it's
That's awesome.
it's a 30-inch scale
Sounds like the
instead
best
of
of both
34,
worlds.
which
Oh,
would
okay.
be long scale. And so that's the difference between the two. And it's got a narrower neck. It's thinner and narrower, and it's like I can play big giant basses for an hour, and then they beat me up. But the smaller instrument, and it's made out of birch, so it's much lighter. And the tone is incredible. The Watt Plower, go to Reverend's website, take a look at it if you're a bass player.
Great. I mean, for people who are really ailing from something like arthritis, joint pain,
Right.
if the medical marijuana is not doing enough, they can reach out to Reverend and get a bass that is really accommodating for
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And the tone's incredible, too.
And I can attest. We have Reverend on our new record coming out, so I love them.
Right. Great tone and practical.
And Billy Corgan also plays Reverend.
Really?
He does.
Yeah.
He's
Billy
one of.
Corgan.
Yep.
I always wondered if he talks like that in real life when he goes like this and then, kind of.
He
I think he
doesn't.
does. I think he does.
Right?
He
It's all
doesn't.
high pitched, like sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
On a
at all.
bender.
Like a very soft.
Oh, Jesus.
That's
It was the other
a lot
Disney
like that.
character. My favorite. Oh, Jesus.
Doing that right now.
Who is doing that?
I don't know, but he's
Sppike
making me
Mike
happy.
over
My inner
here.
child just came out, and I'm like,
I didn't.
oh, Jesus. TV was my third parent. You guys will realize this
Right.
sometime.
Third?
Yeah,
Second?
and so you were, it left you alone, didn't it?
After a while, yeah. When I couldn't afford cable, it was a really sad time of my life. It was like my parent abandoned me. What to do?
That's sad.
Take me
It's
in.
funny
It
'cause
is sad,
it's sad.
isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. Life,
Awesome.
You guys know.
Right.
Just kidding. I feel a song coming on.
What are we going to hear?
Well, I think since I got it wrong the last few times, the last time around,
Yeah.
let's get it right this time and let's do The Perfect Crime. I really like the effects that David uses in his guitar playing. This one especially, it really was kind of like a dreamy, just it felt like I was flying in a dream somewhere.
Yeah, he drapes everything. Dave's very like
very drapey.
He's kind of like, I don't know.
It's like a technician.
He
slash
spends
musician.
way too much time in his room studying effects and playing effects. I mean, but like we benefit from it, so it's okay. You know what I mean? But no, the guy's very astute at learning how to create sonic beauty.
Does it wonderfully.
My stories all getting boring, my morals all get gray. But in the interest of some innocence, I can change all the names. And now everybody.
I always call this the Puff the Magic Dragon song.
It is very happy, carefree.
Yes.
You probably want to be really stoned listening to this thing. But I picture myself putting this
helps.
thing on it helps. Putting this thing on a loudspeaker and on your bike and going cruising down the beach.
Yeah.
Really easy going like that. It's got that kind of slow tempo. And I'm going to shut up now because he's singing.
Where it is hard on a heart that is falling apart at the Now outside the world is turning, some happy humans play, and there's no use being frightened. It happens every day, and the purpose is not power.
Whoa, where'd Michael go? He got really small all of a sudden.
I'm filling in for him.
And he shaved.
Attaboy.
Does Michael suffer from that Benjamin Button disease?
Yes.
Okay.
My reason and rhyme goes quiet at times like these, where it is hard on a heart that is falling apart at the seams. So there's what you get, what you want, what you have, and what you need.
Well done, David. Sorry you couldn't be here with us today and the rest of League of Liars. But
Rest in peace, David.
Just get better, David. Get
home?
better.
Oh no, he's dead. He's badly dead. Yeah,
It's okay.
he didn't make it home last night. You play guitar, right?
Why are we putting that shit out in the universe?
We're just
Come
kidding.
on. Why are
Oh
we doing
yeah,
it?
yeah, totally.
Boy, secrets can't live here, can they?
There's no such thing as secrets. When you have a
Yeah.
microphone.
It's when I asked him, like, oh, how did you get in the band? I almost wanted to retract that because I'm like, oh God, somebody died, didn't they? It's like the Spinal Tap severe gardening accident.
We actually doubled up for a little while, actually. So it was a very,
We did,
it was
yeah.
a very
A month or
unique
two
thing
that we had
for
two
me,
drummers.
Two
Yeah.
drummers? So did you guys like break each other or something? Or?
No, we did a couple of gigs that way. We
Yeah.
did several rehearsals that way.
That's some fun
and
stuff,
it was
though.
pretty
That'd be a
interesting.
dream
It was
come
almost
true.
like I kind of morphed into, because my role in this was born solely out of, his misadventures, I guess you might say, but or his whatever happened.
Misfortune.
Yeah, so being injured. So, so that was pretty cool to, that's a rare thing, you guys know, to actually be working on the same material with another drummer and picking up and trading all these different little,
Yeah, that was a fun time.
It's rare.
That was a fun
between
time.
there. Michael, I couldn't ask you because you were using the water closet at the time, but
The
we just
WC?
listened. Yes, exactly. The WC. He knows.
Everything's an acronym, you know.
See, yeah, we speak the same vernacular. I like that. Ain't that for true?
We're
Wow.
laying the cut straight, sitting in here.
Okay.
I'm saying he is from Detroit. I
Now
knew it.
we know
I
where
knew
we're
it.
at.
Yeah. So coming back to Perfect Crime, what was that one about? What's the inspiration behind that, or is it going to incriminate you?
It started out as an argument, I think, between the person I was dating at the time, and it just kind of started out with the imagery of like I'm ready to be happy. It sounds a lot more fun than me waving around this pistol and you holding up that bomb kind of thing. Like, because everyone, it's that situation. No one's gonna win.
Nope.
Right.
And I think that we've all been there and done that.
Right.
Yeah.
Relationships in our life.
with the smile on our face.
Never.
With a big fuck you.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, finish.
So now, do you
Sorry.
drive by your house all the time with that music, with that song, just windows down all the way up? It's like,
Oh no! I've wrote meaner songs.
No,
after that.
hello.
Way meaner.
Yes.
we'll save that for the next
Really?
episode. That'll be
Yeah.
a fun
Yeah.
one. More behind the scenes.
That's for the
stuff.
$10 demo for $15.
Yeah. Right. Lawyer fees.
You got to work it in, man.
Which is often confused. I had one person, when I told him the name of the band, and he went, "Oh, I'm a legal liar, too." I'm like, "You're an attorney?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah."
Right.
He says, "That's what we call each other, legal liars." And I went, "No," and I
Snap.
quickly corrected
That's
him.
why I hate them.
Yeah, right.
Legal.
Hey, imagine having a sister that's one.
Oh, geez.
8 years older than you.
Oh, mercy.
Uh-huh.
I bet she loves.
I
to
love
have
you, Aaron.
conversations With
You're
you.
the best.
Aaron,
So, like, when you
take
have
care
like
of your
those
brother.
awkward conversations at like the Thanksgiving dinner table, does she just sit there and like wait to pick apart your argument and stuff? She's just like, okay,
I don't
go
think
ahead
she
and present
waits.
your case.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then there's the whole kicking under the table thing and flinging potatoes from your lap to the other side.
Does she ever
Come to
go like,
Thanksgiving at your house.
objection?
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that here, girlfriend.
You fight.
Yeah.
What happened to our Thanksgiving? Next time we gotta just like throw some potatoes.
under the table. Damn it.
Next time.
Next time.
A couple months away.
Next time. And speaking of next time, I think it's a really sad time that we had to close this episode eventually. I think we finally hit our mark and we need to go. But once again, go check out League of Liars. They are on Facebook. That's the best place to check them out. They've got all their tracks up, a lot of tracks up, free to play for you guys. As well as some fun pictures. You can see just how good looking or not they are. That's my opinion.
And all their
damn hot.
upcoming shows.
Yes.
I mean, objectively speaking, damn hot.
Damn hot. Or at least damn sweaty. One of the two.
Did you say tomato?
I'll grab the slutty part. That's me, yeah. Oh, you said sweaty. Oh, sorry.
Like, no one's grabbing any parts here.
Hey.
Has Spicy Kim been on stage with you guys?
Yeah. Woohoo.
I think I might have.
Right.
actually.
Come sit in with us, Kim.
So definitely go check them out.
Anytime.
While you're there, check out us at DustyFuton.com. We're on Facebook at Dusty Futon. We're on Twitter. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, and what's the other one? Skitcher,
Everywhere.
Scoocher, what?
It's the
Saskatchewan?
Google Play.
Stitcher. Tune in.
Stitcher.
Yes, that one. That's what you do it.
We're on iHeartRadio now. Yay.
We're on iHeartRadio.
Really? You're 0.001 cents when this thing plays.
Awesome.
It's
Who's
the big
laughing
fuck you to the
now?
man.
Stacking that paper.
Woo!
Suckers. They're still not paying me for it, though.
God.
That being said, we're going to bid you adieu. Thank you so much, League of Liars, for coming out here today
Our
and spending
pleasure.
some time
All
with
right,
us,
thank
giving us some
you.
great
We love you.
conversation. And we'll definitely see you out there in the scene.
love you.
Keep doing
Awesome.
what you do.
League of Liars.
Big thank you to Sppike Mike, Michael Fairchild, and Rumble T. Tim, the drummer, for coming down and hanging out with us on the Dusty Futon. Thank you to Tyler for hosting this episode. And thank you to Spicy Kim of Wicked Tone Entertainment for being the executive producer and co-host for this episode. Thank you to Lindsay Manfredi of the band Cold for chiming in and co-hosting with us. I'm Big John, your engineer and producer. Don't forget, we now have merchandise to sell, t-shirts and the whatnot. Go ahead and head over to dustyfuton.com/merch to get your t-shirts now. If you want to hear what's coming out, what's going on for the next week or two and down in the scene of San Diego, don't forget to check out our concert reports released Wednesday on the same channel. So all you got to do is subscribe, whether it's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, any of those places. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. We also have a Patreon page if you want to get some behind-the-scenes information and some special goodies that are going to be coming in the future. You can go to check that out at patreon.com/thedustyfuton, where you can directly support the Dusty Futon. Also, don't forget to check us out at dustyfuton.com, where you can get access to every episode ever created by the Dusty Futon from Season 1 debut back in April 2015 to now. I hope you enjoyed this production of the Dusty Futon LLC, and this episode was sponsored by Backstage 360. Don't forget to go to backstage360.com to check them out. They are the musician's media. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next episode right here on the Dusty Futon.